This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is a Mul-T-Lock model G55 padlock. This is a 55mm solid brass padlock that is chrome plated. It has a 10mm boron alloy shackle and a Mul-T-Lock interactive core. We're going to see what it takes to pick into this lock, and then of course I will take it apart and show you what's inside. Okay, let's get some tension in here, and I'm going to use this Z-bar with really long ends. And the reason I do that rather than a shallow tension tool is to give myself something to ride my pick along the edge, particularly on these Mul-T-Lock interactives where there's very little warding. It helps a lot to have something to brace your pick against, so you don't have to worry about lateral placement in the keyway. All you have to worry about is the depth of your pick. Another interesting note about this lock is the amount of slop in the core. Look at that. That's very unusual for a Mul-T-Lock. It means we probably have 5 security driver pins in here. That's pretty unusual. Usually they will put at least 1 standard pin unless they're serrated. And clearly with this amount of slop, these are not serrated pins. These are either spooled or mushroom pins. In any case, let's get to picking. Okay, the first outer pin, I'm getting counter rotation and stuck on the inner pin, so let's give him a nudge. Okay, got the inner and outer pin set, I think. Onto number 2, that is our interactive chamber, so that's always going to be set pretty high. And counter rotation, I think we got him set. On to 3, counter rotation on the outer pin. 4, counter rotation. Now on to 5, counter rotation, and okay, I think we got 5 set. Back to the beginning. The inner and outer pins on 1 feel set. Same on 2. Okay, the inner pin on 3 is definitely binding. And I'm pushing pretty hard on him and he's not moving, which probably means we have a spooled inner driver pin with countermilling on the, a spooled inner driver pin and countermilling on the outer key pin. Make sure I said that right. It's a really effective anti-pick feature, and what you have to do is release most of your tension and just kind of massage that inner pin, and usually you can get that to release. You can see we went into a really deep false set now, and what that usually means is that you only have inner driver pins left. So found one in number 1. Yep, got one in 2. Let's see, 3, nope, nothing there. Nothing on 4. Okay, I think we've got one on 5. There we go. And we got the lock open. Okay, let's take this guy apart and see what's inside. This lock can be disassembled by removing a Phillips screw right down the shackle hole. Now there's an interesting quirk to the disassembly here, and that is once we remove that screw, this core still won't come out, and that's because there is a small anti-drill pin in that tiny little hole there that I actually have to push into the hole that this screw used to be in. Let me get something a little bit sharper than that. And once I do that, this core will come out. And I think the reason they have that anti-drill pin there is to keep people from drilling from the side to take that screw out. Okay, since we do have a key, let's lock this guy back up. Now we'll need a clip remover. Now let's get the key and a follower. There we go. Okay, let's get these key pins out first. Oh, looks like we have some passive pins on the side. They're usually put in for key control. And these are a little bit shy. Let's push them out, put them in slot 6 here. Okay. Okay, key pins in number 1. Looks like we have a bit of spooling on that first one. Let's get some tweezers. Maybe that'll help me out here. Standard in the second slot. Oh, looks like we have an anti-bump pin, a 2-piece outer pin in the third slot. In the fourth slot, what do we have? Oh, it looks like we have another one of those anti-bump pins in slot 4. And number 5 is being shy as well. Let's get that inner pin out. Okay, let's arrange these a little bit better. Okay, let's go looking at these driver pins now. Expecting to see a lot of spools here. And okay, we have a mushroom pin in slot 1. Another mushroom in slot 2. Both of those pins have spooling on the inner pins as well. Okay, another mushroom in slot 3. There we go, another in 4. And the exact same thing in slot 5. Okay, let's check these pins. And I think it was on number 3 we ran into the issue with that spooling catching. Oh yeah, it's definitely there. If we look at, I think, pretty much any of these key pins, let's zoom in a bit. Come on, focus for me. There we go. You can see a tiny bit of countermilling right here on the inside of that key pin. The reason they have that there is to catch the little bit of spooling that they have on the inner driver pin right here. And when they lock together, they can be very, very difficult to pull apart. And as I said, it's a very effective anti-pick feature. You really do have to spend some time with them, or you will not be getting these locks open. Okay, let me give you a close-up of all of this. Okay, let's look at our key pins first. It looks like we have standard inner key pins all the way around on the, inner key pins. Then for the outer key pins, we have slots 2 and 5, they're standards. Slot 1 has some spooling on it, and slots 3 and 4 are anti-bump pins. Then if we look at the driver pins, all of the inner pins have spooling on them, and all of the outer pins are mushrooms. Then over in slot 6, you can see we have a couple of passive pins for key control, and that is everything. Moving over to this core, let's see, we have some drill protection right in front of the pin stack, and then again above and below the keyway. These holes in the side of the core are what accept those passive pins, and nothing else unusual about it. If we look very carefully at slot 2, you can see our detent that operates the interactive element to the key. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's all I have for you on this Mul-T-Lock model G55 padlock. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.